Good afternoon, mate. Today I'm going to discuss a game I just played against Elmo. Elmo is a very great player. Nah, actually, he's a good player, and I just met him twice so far, so I don't really know about him. He just sent me back a message saying something like, let's good game. Let's play again next time. Sure, nice playing with you. Too bad you ran out of time. Sorry, I did not notice. That's all right. Elmo is actually a good player from Japan. He's actually from Osaka, and this is the first time I think in my life I've ever played someone chess. With playing chess game from someone in Japan. So let's just have a look at Elmo profile here. I played him twice, 2-0, and the second game is the one that I'm interested in discussing about. So let's just have a look here about Elmo. Oh, by the way, we chat. Before I started, we chat a little bit about where he lives. He lives in Osaka, and his real name I can't disclose this because this is personal information for the personal safety of Elmo. I shouldn't actually disclose. Basically, just imagine that he's like a cookies monster friend or a Sesame Street, that sort of thing. He shared to me that he likes takoyaki. So for you who are not familiar with Japanese food, it's actually really delicious. Takoyaki is food that you can eat. It's sort of an egg where an egg sort of scrambled egg sort of thing. You just mix an egg in a bowl with your fork, or you just whiz it with a mixer, and then put a lot of meat in there, such as octopus meat or fish or even pork, and also put some onions in it and even some veggies, and then you just fry them, and it's pretty thick and it's really delicious. So um, other than that, I share that I like to have some onigiri, which is if you're not familiar with onigiri, it's like a rice with the shape of a prism. Yeah, is a prism where you can stuff a lot of things inside it, such as salmon. It becomes salmon onigiri, or even salted plum, which is ume onigiri, which he shared to me that's one of the kind of onigiri that Japanese people usually eat. And also it can be a lot of things. It's actually usually covered with sesame seeds and sesame oil, so it's really delicious, and has some what do you call it, crunchy taste on the rice because of the oil. And also you wrap the onigiri with a seaweed, so you can sort of hold it cleanly, so your hand is not actually greasy and oily. So that's what we share. It's winter in Japan at the moment, and it's summer in Australia, and we have different condition. I hope Japanese people are surviving with the nuclear catastrophe, and I really feel sorry about those family who just got the impact of that. And let's just go on with the game, I suppose, because I'm not here to discuss about the food. I'm actually passionate about the food, but of course, everyone has to be passionate about food, otherwise they won't survive in life. You have to eat. And let's just start a game, and the discussion about the game. So f4 was moved by me, who is white, and Elmo was black here. E6, and then knight f3, d5, typical standard bird opening, c4, d takes c4, e3, bishop goes to c5 there, and I can take the pawn at c4 there. And it's the same pawn amount. At the moment, it's just developing. Oops, what's going on here? Black, yeah. Black continues with knight goes to f6, and then queen goes to c2 there. Ooh, but very slow. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm actually gonna charge. And then castle kingside, and from here I sort of the idea that I want to sort of have is actually for the queen to attack the bishop there. But pawn goes to b3 with the idea of fianchettoing my dark square bishop to sort of attack black's king side. And c6 was moved by black, and I castled first and then b5. So c6 and b5 is actually to kick the bishop away, move my bishop there to d3 to attack h7 square there, and then knight goes to a6 with the threat of going to b4, of course. Then I have to avoid this, but actually in this game I don't really sort of pay attention to that. I continue with my plan, which bishop goes to b2, and then knight goes to b4 there, and I took the bishop at c5, which is a loss of tempo, because after knight takes, my queen is actually in trouble and I have to do something about it. So I have I have to move my queen, and so it's actually a loss in tempo, and it's not really good, I suppose, because anyway, move my queen back to c3, which is a mistake, and pawn goes to b4 there, and I should have just take the pawn there, but instead I just was very timid. I moved my queen back to that place, c2, and then bishop a6 there. It's a good move because it's attacking this rook here at f1. So if the knight moves, for example, taking the bishop at b2, then the rook is under attack, and I ignore this. Can you believe it or not? Actually, ignore this move. I simply go on with a3, and then knight goes to take b2, and then I took the pawn at the knight at b2, sorry, and then rook takes f1, king takes f1, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's a rook against against a bishop and a knight, so it's not really good. Queen goes to d3 check, king goes to g1, and then rook from a go to d8, trying to attack this pawn at d2. It's actually not really an accurate move. It's a mistake according to the engine, and because why is it a mistake? Because there are so many pieces guarding it. For example, this minor piece, knight at b1, is guarding it. The other minor piece, knight at f3, is guarding it, and the queen, the major piece, is actually guarding it as well. And I simply take a b4 there. Knight goes to e4, trying to do more attack there, and I simply ignore it. It's actually dangerous because I ignore it. For example, I take a7 there. Actually, it's a checkmate in 5 move. Well, but it involves the queen sacrifice, which didn't happen in the game, unfortunately. But if it happened, it's actually beautiful. Let me just show you the checkmate first. If the queen took e3 check, then it's a checkmate in. And the longest one is actually checkmate in 5 moves. I cannot take the queen using the pawn, because if this happens, then the rook goes there, and there's nothing else that king can do. Knight has to block the check, and that's it. A checkmate. Beautiful checkmate. Alright. So what happened instead for checkmate in 5? So to prolong it, king has to go to h1 there, and then rook takes knight goes to f2 check, and then it's a windmill basically. A windmill is where you have to there is a chance to do a check, and then another check. This one is double check. Sorry, let me just repeat. The definition of windmill is where you have check, you have okay, So queen takes this one, check, check. So you can see the pattern that, you know, there's another check. So king has to go back and forth to save himself in the game. That's a windmill. So it's an alternative moves between check and then discover check, check and then block by its own piece, and then another check and block by its own piece. So it's a double check, and then king has to move, and then king moves to h1, of course, or f, even f1, doesn't matter. And this is the checkmate that could happen, but none of this happened. Instead, what happened was queen goes to e2 there. And now I can understand the point of queen going to e2. It's a good move actually. It's actually threatening the next move, which is queen goes to d1 checkmate if nothing is actually moved. And here I just simply move my queen to c1. Now moving my queen to c1 is actually trying to protect the back rank of mine, and that's how I would like to survive this game, I suppose. Now it's actually best for black to continue with taking the pawn at and d2, and then after that, for example, like this, let's just say for example rook takes, and for example knight takes there, and then simply there is a fork between the white's king and the white's rook. But that didn't happen as well. So what happened actually? Okay, let's discuss all what happened. Okay, so after knight e2, and sorry, after queen e2, queen c1, and then queen goes to f2 check, and simply king run away, and then f6 was moved there. Now I felt very confident that I can sort of try to sort of make an attack back to black. So I make an escape route first for my king, which is h4, and from here it's actually there is a less threat of checkmate. It's pretty okay. And g5 was moved by black, trying to challenge all of this. Now I move my queen to c6, takes c6, and then knight goes to g3, and then king goes to h2, and from here the time runs out. So if it actually goes on, probably knight goes to go to f1 check, and I move here, and then pawn goes there. I still can do this. Queen goes to take, and then king can hide, and then queen goes there, and it's probably a draw, so perpetual check. Knight goes to f3, and then king goes to h2, knight f1, king h1, and that sort of thing, I suppose. Or even, sorry, yeah, that's the only thing that can happen. So it's actually a draw. So black has a chance to do a perpetual check for the king. It's gonna be a draw, and sadly, black runs out of time. So for elm0, let's play again next time, as we discussed in the ooh, what happens here in the inbox. It's actually lovely to play with you, and I suppose the lesson that we can learn is actually to never give up, even though you are down on material. Okay, it's okay. We have more time. It's oh. 2C. Timeout. Alright. So I suppose that's my first experience playing with a Japanese player, and I really enjoy it. So I hope all the best for everyone who's thank us, and I see you later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.